Hello dear learners, Assalamu alaikum. This is Mohammed Jahirul in front of you, and I'm the Vice Principal of New Bloom, an international standard school, and it is located at Tongi College Gate. And I'm here today to do a tutorial on a topic that is common mistakes in an application. So by that I mean these are the mistakes which we are making quite frequently in our application writing, and we are not aware of these kind of mistakes. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, so without doing it further, let's go to the tutorial. So the first one, the principle. Can you find out what is problematic here? I guess at least some of you can find out. So you see P, the initial letter, that is the recipient designation, it is not capitalized. So that is the first problem. And at the end of this word principle, you have LE. That means with this kind of a spelling, that is Principle, it means in English some kind of principle, some kind of morals, okay, some kind of rules, laws, and in Bengali it means niti. So this is not the word I guess we are looking for. Yes, we are looking for the word which means the head of an educational institution, and that is the word Principal. You see PAL. So instead of LE, you have to write AL, which means in Bengali Oddokho. In English, is the head or she is the head of an educational institution like school and college. So we're going to make it capitalized, and we're going to replace LE and we're going to write AL. Okay, so I guess you're clear that in between principal PLE and PAL, which one we should use here. Okay, so at first we are going to capitalize this initial letter P, which is the recipient designation. Then we are going to also replace LE with AL. Okay, so here we go. I guess you are clear. Okay, now the second one, as you can see, SUB, then prayer for a leave of absence. So what is problematic here again? Now the problem is here. I guess you have understood, yes. This is the shortened form of the word subject, and you are not allowed and you are completely prohibited to use any kind of shortened form of any word in an application. So we are going to write the full form of this word. Okay, that is the first thing we are going to do. So we will write the full form of this word subject. Okay, so shortened forms are not allowed in the application, remember that. Okay, we're done. Now with this line, prayer for a leave of absence. Now the problem is here with this word. Here is the problematic one, prayer. Now many of you might think that we have found this kind of use of prayer in many applications, in many grammar books. So what is he referring to? Yes, I'm referring to the meaning of this word, literal meaning. If you go to the dictionary and if you open up, you will find that the meaning of prayer is a kind of act or practice of praying to God. So it is more related to the religious context. But if we think about the formal letter writing, if we go for the word application instead of this one, in the dictionary you will find application means a kind of formal request to be allowed for a post, or formal request to do something, to have something. And we write this kind of letter to an institution, to an organization, or to an employer. Okay, so I guess you are clear why should we use application instead of prayer. So don't use prayer, which means a kind of religious prayer. Okay, so we are going to replace it with application. So I guess you're finding something quite new and interesting. Okay, so you see, application for a leave of absence. I guess you are pretty much clear after today's one, and you're not going to repeat or you're not going to write prayer here. Okay, so moving to the next one. Dear Sir or Dear Mr. Nazrul Islam. Okay, so this one is actually in our context, we don't call anybody by his or her name. But in the foreign culture, it's quite common for them. Even a company MD or CEO, you can call them after, their names, okay? But in our culture, that is our etiquette or manner, we don't call anyone by their name, okay? So in that case, what you see that whenever we'll address someone, a male or female, in the case of male, we'll say, Dear Sir, or in the case of female, we'll say, Dear Madam, okay? But in the foreign culture, they will call someone by his or her name. Okay. Now, with number 3 and number 5, there is a connection. Let me show you that. When you write dear sir and dear madam in the salutation, then in the complimentary closing, that means at the end of your application, you are going to write, are you going to write yours faithfully, yours sincerely? That is the question. That's why I have put double question marks there, okay? So you might have some kind of confusion that which one is more appropriate. It's not about appropriateness, it's about having more suitability, okay? So when you have dear sir or dear madam, this kind of salutation, then in the complimentary closing, you are going to use yours faithfully. And that is the British style. And the American style of it will be faithfully yours. And quite oppositely, when you have some kind of name here in the salutation, dear Mr. Nazrul Islam, we don't call, as I said, someone by his or her name. But if we do so, if we have a name in the salutation, then in the complimentary closing, you are going to write yours sincerely. I'm repeating, if you have someone's name in your salutation, then in the complimentary closing, you are going to mention yours sincerely. Okay, it can be also written as sincerely yours. So I'm repeating, when you have dear sir, madam, in the salutation, then you're going to write yours faithfully. And when you have someone's name, then you're going to write yours sincerely in the complimentary closing. I guess you're pretty much clear where you should use yours faithfully and where you should use yours sincerely. And you will not use them alternatively. Okay, so don't confuse it. Okay, we are, still left with one more here. I beg most respectfully to state that. Now, what is problematic here? Can you guess? You might be wondering that we are using this kind of line again and again in our application. So what's wrong? The wrong is here with this word, beg. Now, my question to all of you that, what is the literal meaning if I ask you that, what's the meaning of beg? Bhikkha kora. So, are you begging alms to someone for something? Bhikkha korcho karo kache? I guess, of course, nobody wants to beg to someone. You have your esteem, okay? You have your self-esteem, so you're not going to, give it up. So why should you do that? Okay, so instead of using this kind of cliche, I beg most respectfully to state that, which means, আমি সবিনয়ে ভিক্ষা করছি যে, and I guess nobody wants to do that. So you have to be smart and smarter. We are living in the 21st century. We have to know the modern English. And the modern English, if you Google, you'll find the line is, this is to inform you that, or they use with due respect, I would like to inform you that. So I would strongly recommend you not to use this cliche. Cliche means something which we are using overtly, excessively for a longer period of time, and it has become quite old and out of fashion. So please don't use trash English, which has become quite old. Use more modern expression like, as I said, this is to inform you that, or you can write, with due respect, I would like to inform you that. So I'm erasing that line so that all of you can understand. Okay, so we are going to write, this is to inform you that, okay, or we can also write, with due respect, I'd like to inform you that. I hope after watching today's video, you're not going to write anymore, I beg most respectfully to state that. Okay, so here it goes, this is to inform you that, or you may write, with due respect, I'd like to inform you that. So I'm begging to all of you, so please don't write, I beg most respectfully to state that in the opening paragraph of your application. I hope you will keep my word, okay? Now, one last thing we are left with, that is this one. So can you guess why is it problematic and why have I underlined it? Yes, that is known as contraction. Contraction means when we omit a letter or, more than that, after or before some word, that is known as contraction, okay? You see that it is am, and you have omitted a from here, and you have used apostrophe, and this kind of act is called contraction, okay? And contraction is not allowed in an application. It is completely prohibited. As a shortened form of a word, as we have seen in the subject, you are not allowed to write SUB. In the same way, you are not allowed to write I'm, okay? It's not it's I'm. You are not allowed to write this I'm. Rather than that, you have to write I am, which is the full form of I'm, okay? So you have to write, so this is not allowed. Instead of that, you have to write the full form. You have to write in that way. I am a. So that's it, okay? So these are the mistakes which we are making quite frequently in our application. And by doing so, we are also decreasing the quality of our application. And that's why we are not getting the desired marks in the exam. So I hope, my dear students, after watching today's videos, you will not repeat this kind of mistakes once again. And after watching these videos, if you come across any kind of question, you can also post your comments in this tutorial so that I can get to know and I can get back to you, okay? So that's all for the time being. Okay, let me call it a day, and I will come back with another new topic in another new tutorial. So till then, take care. Goodbye.